Hello Year 4 and welcome to your science lesson for Wednesday the 6th of January. Okay, you will notice that this first page here says to stick in your new unit cover sheet. Obviously we've been doing this in school and I don't expect you to do this now, but we are having a look at a new science unit. So our new science unit for this term is going to be on sound. And normally we'd have a look at the objectives that we're going to cover and that we'd rate ourselves on our learning pit to where we feel we are now at the beginning of the unit, and then we come back to this at the end. We're going to skip this for now because it's harder to do this at home, but I will be asking you to think about sound. And for our first lesson today, we are going to be describing and explaining sound sources. So our steps to success, we're going to identify and describe the sound sources, and we're going to explain how sources of sound vibrate, therefore creating the sound. Okay, some of you won't know anything about sound, and that's absolutely fine. But the question here is, do you know anything about sound at the moment? Just have a think to yourself. And do you know anything about how sounds are made? So just for this lesson and not for all the other objectives, just have a think about where you might be on the learning pit. Do you think this lesson is going to be challenging? Is there anything that you've done in science in previous years? Because we haven't actually covered sound in year 4 yet. Is there anything from our music lessons that you think might help? And how can we make sure that we succeed today, and what will help us? So hopefully this video will help you. I've actually got a video from another website within this today that will hopefully help you as well as me explaining or trying to explain as best I can. Now we're back home learning. Okay, so let's go straight into it with our true and false question today. Sound is the same as noise. What do you think about this statement? Do you think it's true? Sound is the same as noise? Do you think it's false? Do you think there is a difference? And normally we'd agree with each other, we'd build on each other's statements, and we'd challenge. But do you think this is true or false for now? Just have a think at home. Okay, sound then. So here is me teaching you a little bit. What is sound? And hopefully this video, fingers crossed, this video is going to work at home for you as well. And it just says at the side there, whilst you watch the video, think about how the different families of musical instruments create different sounds. So we're going to be watching this video about musical instruments. Fingers crossed this works.
It's easy to make a sound. All you have to do is make something vibrate. You could twang a string or a rubber band, or you could blow down something, or you could bang something together, or you could scrape something, or you could shake something. There are 3 families of musical instruments. This is one of them, strings. As you can see in this guitar, when you pluck the string, it vibrates. That vibration gets passed on to the air, and that's how you hear the sound. And here's another stringed instrument from India called a gopichan. The second family we're going to look at is wind instruments. These work by blowing into a tube and making the air inside vibrate. Listen to these panpipes. You can do the same thing with a horn. This instrument's called a balafon. It belongs to the last family of instruments called percussion. These produce vibrations when you bang them, and you can do exactly the same thing with a pair of bongos.
Okay, hopefully that all worked and you were able to hear all of those. So let's go straight onto the vocabulary. Did you hear any vocabulary there that you think might be under these missing letters? And do you know what they mean? So the man in the video explained what some of them meant. Hopefully you heard the word vibrate. So lots of the instruments vibrated with the air, with the string instruments. Did you work out the B word here? There's a blow or a bang. So two of the different ways to make those sounds. A word beginning with T was twang. They were twanging that piece of string. Down here, another V, vibration. Two S's. I wonder if you know what those could be. There was a, oh, got rid of the wrong word there. Let's get rid of that one. A shake. They shook the instruments. Or a scrape. So you could see him scraping something along. And the last one, our P, hopefully thinking back to the guitar, was plucking. He was plucking the strings. Okay, vibrations then. So all the instruments from the video, some at the beginning, not technical instruments that you'd use in music, but things that still made those vibrations, are played in different ways, but they all have something in common, and they all create sounds by vibrating. So that top one, so he mentioned those three families. You can see the three bubbles on here. The string family, so the strings of a guitar and the other string instruments vibrate when they are plucked. So you could see him plucking the strings, and the strings then vibrate because they've been plucked, and that's what creates the sound. The next one then, the panpipes and the horn were filled with air, which vibrates when they are blown. So this is when he blew into the instruments, and it's the air vibrating inside the tubes. The last one then, the balafon and the bongos make sounds when they are hit or banged. This causes the blocks or the skin to vibrate. So it's not the whole drum, but it's the skin on top that gets hit. So if you hit the skin vibrates, and that's what makes the sound. Okay, so we've learned about the three different types. We now need to think about what is a vibration. So vibrations can be seen or felt whenever sounds are made. And the definition is something moving continuously, which means all the time, and rapidly, so it's quickly to and fro. So that's a vibration. So if I move my screen down here, we're going to try one together. So it says, can you gently place your hand on your throat? And in a moment, you're going to say ah, and you're going to see if you can feel the vibrations from your vocal cords. Ah. So it sounds funny to do that, but I wonder if you can feel any movement, or you can feel the vibrations in your vocal cord as you do this. Have a go. You might want to pause the video here. Okay, well done for having a go at that. Let's see the vibrations. Now, if we were in class and if I was doing this normally with you, I'd have borrowed one of the drums from the music cupboard. And what I'd have done is placed a few grains of rice on the drum skin, and I'd gently have hit it. Now, we know from the video that we've just watched that it's the skin on top of the drum or the bongos that vibrates. So if you think you hit that, what do you think would happen to the rice? It's kind of a clue in the picture there. Okay, hopefully you would observe that the grains of rice would bounce on the drum skin when it's hit. And this is because the drum skin itself vibrates, and the vibrations pass to the grains of rice, which also then vibrate. So it's moving them continuously and rapidly to and fro. And that's where our definition came from. Okay, so my Emmett misconception, my Emmett problem today. Emmett says, I know a sound is vibrating if I can see it or feel it. So he's used those two examples when he saw the grains of rice, or you would have seen the grains of rice in school, and if you felt it on your throat. If not, it must not be vibrating. Do you agree or disagree with Emmett? And have a think about why. Again, pause this video here if you want to have a think about those questions. Okay. Around our school then, and it would have been in school, but it now says and your home, there are lots of different sounds. Some places will be noisy, whereas other places will be quiet. And the loudness of different places will change throughout the day. This is especially if we're in school. So today you are going to carry out a sound survey of your home to find which places are noisy and which are quiet. You will then describe the sounds you can hear, and you'll then need to determine where the vibrations are. So this is quite different than the computing activities we did last homeschool, where I just asked you to think about the sound, but it's finding those sounds today and determining where the vibrations are coming from, the scientific element of it. So in the top of your book, you can write the date on WALT like we normally do, and you can either scroll down on the post today and print the grid, or you could just draw it. So I've just drawn it on the notebook there, like you would have. And it says your task today is to visit 5 locations within your home or around school if you're a key worker, and note down what sounds you can hear. So aim for 2 different sounds per area. So when I modeled this and when I was thinking about doing it in school, I said that I would be stood outside Mrs. Blanche's office. And again, those people, if you are in school, it's going to be from outside only. So you're going to be outside in the playground, listening in through the windows, because we're not going to be popping any bubbles. We're not going to be going into any other rooms. And if you're at home, obviously you can go into different rooms in your house. So this is where I was. I was outside Mrs. Blanche's office. What sounds can you hear? So that next box is split into 2, and this is we're aiming for 2 different sounds per area. So when I stood there and I listened, I could hear her typing on the computer. That was the sound I heard, and I heard her talking with other adults. This final box, that's interesting today, and this is the one we're focusing on, is what is vibrating to make that sound. So when I thought about Mrs. Blanche typing on the computer, the vibration was coming from pressing the letters on the keyboard. Every time she pressed the letter, it made a vibration, and that's where the sound came from. Then when it was talking with others, we already know that the vibrations come from the vocal cord because you felt them when you popped your hand there a moment ago. Again, you're going to be doing this similarly at home. So if we were at home, think about what room you might be in. So I might say that I am in the bathroom. And I'm obviously just going to make that a little bit smaller so it fits nicely inside my box. Okay, if you're in the bathroom, I want you to think about the sounds you can hear. And again, try and do 2. So I can hear, what can I hear in the bathroom? The flush of the toilet. And potentially you could hear the water coming from the tap, something like that. And then it's really thinking about this section. What is vibrating? What is happening when you do the flush to make the sound? Okay, this Go Deeper explains that column a bit more. Use your knowledge of sound vibrations and decide what was vibrating to make the sound. Your Go Deeper this afternoon is then simply to think about using your description, have a think about which area is the loudest. It would have been a bit more interesting had you had your classmates to talk to about the different areas they went to, but hopefully you'll still be able to do that. It really is this column here, the what was vibrating to make the sound, that I'm most interested in today. Again, you can pause the video here and go and have a go at that activity and just come back at the end if you can. Good luck. Okay, well done. I hope you found, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you found it okay to think about what was vibrating. We're just going to have a look at what areas of working scientifically, what skill do you think you focused on today? And you can pause this and have a look at those if you'd like to. But finally, I just want you to think about where you now are on the learning pit. Are you more confident than you were at the start of the lesson? Do you understand a little bit more than you did about what a vibration is, about the definition, about how sounds are made? And hopefully your little mark will increase a little bit. Okay, well done again today, and I will see you very soon for some more science. Bye.